Hello, welcome to the Getting Started with Microsoft Excel. In this module, we'll be looking at the graphic user interface of Microsoft Excel. Um, it is assumed that you have Microsoft Excel software installed on your system. In this tutorial, we'll be using the Microsoft Excel 2019, and simply what you just do is to come to this search bar. So I'm just going to type in Excel. Now you can see Excel desktop app, so I just click on it. Once I click on this app, what comes out is the welcome page. That's the first thing that appears, the welcome page of Excel. So you just have to wait for everything to load. Now in this welcome page, what the first thing you will see on the left pane is you'll be looking at the recent document that have been worked on previously by me. You'll be looking at recent document. But on the right hand side, you'll be looking at the first one. We have the blank workbook. The blank workbook is actually a blank Excel workbook that have not been worked upon. Likewise, to the right, you have different other templates that come along with the Excel package. Now I'll just be clicking on the blank workbook to open the graphic user interface of Excel. Now you might liken Microsoft Excel workbook to your normal regular textbook. Your normal regular textbook contains many sheets. Now if you look at this interface very well, you discover that it's made up of grid lines. Excel actually is made up of rows and columns. Now if you check where I highlighted just like this, you discover that I'm on the first column containing several rows. We have different columns. This column B, this column C, this column D, this column E, this column F. Likewise, we have different rows to each column. We have row 1, this row 2, this row 3, this row 4, this row 5, and so on. Now if you check these spreadsheets, you'll discover that there's only one sheet open, which is sheet 1 of this particular workbook. Now if you look at this interface, the very first thing you will see is the title bar. The title bar it has a default name, book 1. Then of course you see what we call the tabs. These are the arrays of the tab items, starting from where you have the file, going forward to the home. You have the insert, you have the page layout, you have the formulas, you have the data, you have the review, you have the view. Each one of these has their own specific ribbons. If you're looking at the home has its own ribbons that is actually segmented into different categories: clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, cells, and editing. If you click on insert also has its own set of ribbons, which is tables. We have illustrations, add-ins, and so forth. Then just about display, we have the one we call the quick access toolbar. We have the quick access toolbars. Then we have the ribbon display settings. This is the ribbon display options. For example, if I don't want to see the ribbon, I can deselect it. If I don't want to it to show the ribbon, I close it. Then if I want to hide both the tab and the ribbon, or to hide it hides everything. Then if I want to bring it back, I just click on show tabs. Then I click on it again, and then show tabs and commands, the ribbon tabs. Then it appears. Then of course, just like your regular office suite, you have the vertical scroll bar, which is used to scroll vertically up and down. Then you have the horizontal scroll bar, which can be used to move left to right. Then you have the column letters. When you say the column letters, means this is the first column, which is labeled A. There is the second column, which is labeled B. There is the third column, which is labeled C. This is the fourth column labeled D. Then you have E, F, G, H, and so on. Then you have the row numbers. If you look at the row number, I'm going to scroll up now. If you look at the row number, you have row 1, row 2, row number 3, row number 4, row number 5, row number 6, and so on. Then if I'm just going to select a particular cell, what I just did now was to select a cell. A cell is actually the intersection of a column and a row. Intersection of a column and a row. If you look at it, any cell I select always have a square bound indicator, meaning that that cell at this particular time is the active cell. Then towards the end here we have the page view buttons. Towards the bottom here we have the page view button. As it is now, it's in the interface is in the normal mode. If I page it out to page layout mode, it comes in this way, and I'm just selecting it, paging it out. It comes in this way. I'm just trying to roll this out. I keep responding. It comes in this way. Then if I take it to this page break view, it comes out in this way. So I can just take it out to page normal. It goes back to normal. What I just did was to segment it into the kind of a different page breaking. Now we also have the zoom out. This is zoom in. For example, if I want to zoom in, that means I'm making the spreadsheet interface looks more bigger. Then I can zoom out to make it smaller. I can make it more smaller than I made it, or otherwise I can just take it back to represent, which is what was there before. Then of course we have what we call the status bar. This particular plane where you have ready, from the ready side where you can see my cursor up to beside the normal mode is called status bar. It displays temporary data, temporary value of certain indices parameters as you walk along in the Excel, on the Excel interface. Now of course, if like I tell you, this is sheet 1, then if I want to add an additional sheet, I can click on this new sheet button. Then give me sheet 2, click on, it gives me sheet 3, click on, it gives me sheet 4, click on, it gives me sheet 5. Now also we have what we call the formula bar. If we check this, we have the formula bar, this space. We have the formula bar. Then you have the name box. What the name box means is that any cell that is highlighted, any cell that is activated, you can get the cell address from this name box. For example, the cell that is highlighted is labeled B5. The first letter there is the column name, then the second is the row number. So what means is that this particular cell belongs to column B, row 5. So if I just move it with a forward arrow, you can see it falls into column C, row 5. If I move, it falls into column D, row 5. That's why you see D5. If I move just downward, D6, I can just select arbitrarily H5, or I can type into it to say I'm going to cell A100. You just move straight to A100. That means this cell is actually aligned on column A, row 100. Then of course I can go back and say I'm looking at cell A1, so it goes back to the very first cell. Thank you.